Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, the host of the show, and tonight I have a really fun show planned for you. We are going to be talking about trying so hard, and you know how sometimes we try really hard and things just don't work the way we want them to. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're also going to do some mini soul readings and personal guidance if you have a desire for that. So while you are joining in, please do say hello, and we are going to just have so much fun tonight. So let's see what I've got going here. So in case you don't know who I am, what's going on here, this is, as I said, Embracing Your Essence. It is a Lilydale sponsored radio show, podcast, Facebook Live event where we every week I come on Tuesdays and I give some suggestions, some ideas to help you live as your true self and help you have a happier life and the life you want to have. And so this week, as I said, we are going to be talking about tired of trying. And as you're joining in, please do say hello. I am a registered medium here at Lilydale Assembly. I am a certified empowerment coach. I am the author of this book, Courageously You. And this book is to help people step into their power so they can live the happy life that they want and that they deserve to have. And I also have at the top of the page here, you'll see at the very top where the description is, I have a free gift for people if you haven't gotten it yet. It is an ebook and it's called The Empowered Path to Inner Peace. 9 ways to create inner peace even in chaos. So the link is right up there at the top in the description for this show. And feel free to click on that and get it. Hi, Tara. Nice to see you. And as you are joining in, everybody, do say hello. And I don't want to start too soon because, you know, I have a lot to say. And if you're not here yet, you might miss it, of course, right? So we are going to, as I said, we are going to be talking tonight about tired of trying. I also do want to mention I've been doing soul guidance readings, and I've had two events so far, 10 people each, and everybody's guaranteed a soul reading. I have another one scheduled for February 25th. It is, there are 3 seats left, okay? And so I will post that link after. You can find it on my page, so you could go that route and look for it. Make sure it ends with soul guidance February 25th. Okay, so you have the right link. So there are 3 seats left for that, so I do want to mention that as well. So let me say hello to people who are joining me. Hi, Ashley, nice to see you. Hi, Lori Lynn. Nice to see you as well. Hi, Donna and Evelyn and Tammy. And what else do I have to tell you? I don't even know. So let's just get to it and go from there. Now, if you are on Lilydale Assembly's page, I cannot see your comments. So if you want to ask a question or make a comment, or later on you want a soul reading or some guidance, you should get over here on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach. And let me do some of those details. LilydaleAssembly.org is the official website for Lilydale Assembly. Lilydale Assembly Incorporated is the official Facebook page. My official Facebook page is Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach. And my website is ColleenVanderzijden.com. And if you don't want to spell Vanderzijden, you can do BeCourageouslyYou.com, and that works as well, as do many other domains. So, hello, Melissa. Hi, Lisa. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you? I think that's about it. So let's get to it. So tonight we are going to talk about trying. Have you ever had that experience where you just feel like no matter how hard you try, you're not getting anywhere? You know, you just keep trying and you just keep trying. It doesn't work. And I started really thinking about this and I thought, what if trying harder isn't the answer? So we're going to talk about another approach to help you toward achieving your goals, attracting your dreams, and manifesting the life you want. I'm going to give you a different way to do this. I'm also going to do some mini soul readings tonight, as well as personal guidance if you have questions, etc. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. So many of us were brought up with the old phrase of, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, right? I remember hearing that as a child, and it just became such a part of who I was. I just kept trying and trying, which is great to a point, right? Because we don't want to give up too soon if we're trying to achieve a goal or do something, right? Learning. So, but what can happen sometimes is that we keep trying and keep trying, and it's not working. And we try so hard and then nothing changes or you're not getting what you want. It can feel like you're treading water or even drowning, right? You just keep going and going. And it seems like no matter what you do, you just can't get ahead. Have you ever had that experience where you're just trying and trying and you're like, what is the point? What am I even doing here? Hi, Kathy. And what happens is we start to feel really frustrated and maybe even angry and maybe even hopeless. Hi, Julie. And due to our programming, our conditioning as we were growing up, this concept that we must keep going, we must keep trying, it's like this leftover belief we have where we feel like we have to keep going. But if we're getting frustrated, this isn't working out so well, is it? So let's try a different way. So what else can we do when we're trying hard and not getting anywhere? Hi, Corky. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Julie. Hi, Carol. So what can we do? So I have been playing with this really awesome technique, and it works perfectly in this situation as well as many others. But tonight we're talking about trying, so we're going to apply it to this. And for those people who are in my coaching groups, they already know what I'm going to say, I bet. We are talking about the backwards approach, okay? The backwards approach. What this is as soon as we realize that whatever we're doing isn't helping or isn't working, like we keep trying and trying, it's not working, the backwards approach means we do the opposite. We do the opposite. So in the case of trying hard, where we're getting stuck and we're getting nowhere, the opposite of that is going to be stop trying. Right? Seems so logical, doesn't it? It does. Hi, Sue Ellen. Hi, Amy. It seems so logical that's the backwards approach, to do the opposite. But here's the problem. Our humanness, our human nature wants us to do something, right? We feel like we need to make a decision. We feel like we have to take some kind of action. And what happens is we end up trying and pushing and forcing and controlling and powering through. So that only makes us feel worse. So the opposite, again, is to stop that. Stop the pushing, stop the trying. Now, so much of our humanness, right? We start immediately. When I tell you to stop trying, right away, there's a part of us that comes up and says, no, I'm not going to stop trying. I have to keep going. Here's the thing, though. It's not working. So stop it. Just stop it. It's not working. So don't get stuck there, right? Just don't. So remember, your tendency to want to keep trying comes from that old programming where people a long time ago told you how important it was to keep trying no matter what. But if it's not working, no. So it's not working, we're going to do the backwards approach. So I want to share with you what I learned from a really cool meditation about 1.5 years or so, maybe 2 years, I don't know, lose track of time ago. Okay, and I learned this meditation. And it made such a difference in how I looked at the perspective of trying as well as many other things. Those of you who were in my Transcendence class last year, this will sound familiar. So I had this really cool meditation. And while I was in this meditation, I saw in my mind's eye this mist that surrounded me. Okay, there was this mist all around me. And in that meditation, I realized the mist was symbolizing the stuff that was in my way. Okay, so whatever was in my way, as I looked at this mist during the meditation, sometimes it would be thick or moving, and sometimes it would open up and I could see through the mist, so to speak. There would be breaks in the clouds, if you want to call it that, and I could see things up there. And I realized that this mist was the symbolism of the stuff that's blocking me, blocking my view, blocking my light. These could be things like beliefs, upsetting situations, circumstances, people, problems, anything like that, okay? Now, as I was looking at this, just outside of the mist, when I had some gaps in there, I could see things floating just outside of my reach, just on the other side of the mist. And I understood that those things things that I was seeing were things that were meant for me in this lifetime, something that was meant for me. And again, they could be objects, material possessions, people, relationships, opportunities, goals, dreams, beliefs, whatever was meant for me in this lifetime. And it was really cool because I could see all these different things and think, wow, all that stuff is for me. And why do I not have all of those things, right? And then I realized if I tried to reach for them, that I was actually repelling them. My energy was pushing them away. And the message I received was that we can set a goal and dream, of course, but instead of reaching, forcing, trying to make things happen, a much better solution was to sit in the light and be in that spiritual flow and allow these things to come to me. So rather than trying, I would sit there, just be in the light, feel the light, and I would allow all of these things to just simply come to me. Now, what that looks like is setting that goal. If you have something you're working toward, whatever it is, set that goal. Then, rather than continuing to think about it, try to make it happen, we instead decide to sit in that light. And when we sit in that light, we choose to trust that what we want is going to come to us. We trust that if it doesn't, it's not meant for us. For whatever reason, it could be a different form of it, it could be something else, whatever it might be. It's really interesting. So we set that intention and then we let it go. This goes against everything so many of us have been taught. Set an intention and let it go, not keep working at it, not keep trying, but we're moving into a new way of living. And the new way of living is one where we don't have to try so hard and we can allow these things to come to us. I know it sounds magical. It actually works. And I'm going to tell you how to get into that light so that you can get into that flow more. Because why not? If we don't have to work hard, let's do it, right? So we want to be in that flow as much as possible. When we're in that flow, we have complete trust. We expect things to come to us. We let go of forcing and controlling and trying. It's a very peaceful place to be. Our mind calms down. We feel so much better. Otherwise, you know how our mind gets a little cluttered up there. It's not working. I want this, I want that. And we keep thinking about it, which makes us feel worse. I don't know about you, but I just as soon let go of that. It helps if we want to be in the flow to try as best we can to keep our energy high. We want to have a high vibration. That means focusing on things like love, light, kindness, compassion, empathy, all of those beautiful qualities that we know are pleasing and helpful to the world. We want to have those qualities toward everyone, everything, and especially toward ourselves. Because when we're trying to do something, it's frequently accompanied by some self-judgment, the inner critic saying, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You can't make this happen. So we want to let go of those things. We don't need that part. We want to, if we keep trying and it's not working, it's a sign, it really is a sign, that we're not trusting ourselves. We're not trusting the universe. We're not trusting our soul. We're not trusting the flow. Whenever I get upset about something not working the way I want it to work, immediately I know I am not trusting. I'm not trusting myself. I'm not trusting the process of life. I'm not trusting my soul, etc. I immediately know that. And when I choose to trust, I can relax. I can let go of all that other stuff. So the backwards approach, what this means is as soon as we notice we're feeling upset or we're feeling stuck, we stop trying and instead we choose to trust. This takes discipline and it takes persistence, but it works. It really works. I'm just going to check the comments for half a second here. Hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. fun meditation, isn't it? Ashley's saying one of her favorite meditations, the mist meditation. Lisa, I try to achieve a goal a few times, and if it doesn't work, I stop and reevaluate what I'm trying to achieve. And I think sometimes spirit stops it because it's not meant for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my phrases I use sometimes is rejection is God's protection, where we think we want something so badly and it doesn't happen. And then later on, we find out why it didn't happen, and we're grateful it didn't happen. It wasn't for us. Barb, can I trust there is karma? Oh, that's a tricky question. I'm going to write that down, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Barb, karma. Sue Ellen, could it be that it's not in our highest and best? Absolutely, right? If we keep trying so much and it's not working, there's something's not right? There's something's not right. Maybe it isn't for our highest and best. Maybe what we're working toward isn't good for us. Maybe it's a trap of some sort, whatever it could be. So when we trust, it's a lot easier to let go of our disappointment or frustration if we don't get what we're working for. Because if we don't get it, something better is probably coming. And I'd rather have the better than just good enough or even not good enough. So we want to be in the flow as much as possible. We don't have to wait until something is wrong to choose to be in the flow. So I'm going to talk about a few ways to help you get in the flow and help you let go of thinking that you have to keep trying. Before I do that, rejection is God's protection. That's a good one. Hi, Debbie. Before I do that, I want to remind you, if you're on Lily Dale's page and you think you're going to want a mini soul reading later, or you have questions or comments, you need to come over to my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach, because I can't see the comments on Lily Dale's page. Lisa, be careful what you wish for sometimes. Oh, I had a client once many years ago. She wanted this job so desperately, just so desperately, and she got it. And it turned out they lied to her. She worked and worked and worked to get that job, and then they lied to her. Everything they told her the job was, it wasn't. And then she'd already quit her other job, which was decent. Oh, she was so upset, and she couldn't go back to the other job. So if we're trusting, if it's not working, sometimes we just need to let that go and move on. So I also want to mention, again, if you missed it earlier, I have a free gift for you guys if you want it. Up in the description of today's show, there's a link for the Empowered Path to Inner Peace. It's a free ebook. It has 9 strategies in there to help you get into your power so that you can have more peace. And I don't know about you guys, but these days I could use as much peace as possible. The energy is so insane out there. And I will be mentioning that a little bit, just very briefly. I'm not going to go deep or anything. So how do we get into the flow? Number 1, awareness and willingness. Okay, these are foundational beliefs. I always talk about foundational beliefs. Somebody said to me once, what do you mean by foundational beliefs? So I'm going to tell you. Foundational beliefs are things that we need to understand first before we can fully step into our power, fully step into going into a new direction. And nothing changes without awareness. So awareness is always first. So what awareness means is that we're open. Hold on, I'm fixing something. There we go. That awareness means we're open. That means we're looking at ourselves objectively, curiously, without self-judgment. We're looking at ourselves. We're looking at our reactions, our beliefs, our thoughts, and becoming aware of what we're doing and what we're thinking so that we can become intentional and deliberate, right? So we're becoming aware of how we're acting. And sometimes we'll see things and we think, oh, maybe I want to go in a different direction. Maybe I want to say things differently. Maybe I want to believe something differently. So once we become aware, then we deliberately decide if whatever we're thinking or doing is right for us. Is it true? Is it empowering? Is it helpful? So those are questions we ask ourselves without self-judgment. Okay, we want to learn more about ourselves because with this awareness is how we go in a new direction. So if we're feeling stuck and trapped, that means going in a different direction is our choice, right? because we don't want to stay where we are, so we have to do something differently. So that then brings us to the concept of willingness. Are we willing to go in a new direction? Do we want to be in the flow? Do we want to feel better? Do we want to just have a better life, right? Do we want these things? Are we willing for that? We always say yes. Everybody always goes, yes, yes, yes. I want that. I want that. But then what happens is they have difficulty making a decision. They have difficulty moving forward. Maybe they're scared, or maybe they would rather just complain. Some people really like complaining, and they'd rather complain than make it a difference in what they're doing and do a different direction. So it comes down to a matter next of choice. What choice can you make to feel better? You are responsible for yourself. You're the only one that can really make you feel better. You can get a teacher, you can get a guide, you can get a coach, you can have moments of inspiration that enlighten you. And yes, I'm all in on those things. But you have the choice of accepting that, right? Right? Free will. You get to do whatever you want. So you can stay stuck, or you cannot stay stuck. You can do whatever you want. So if you're tired of trying, our answer is to make the choice, again, to stop trying and instead trust. Now what happens, and this is really cool, this simple decision gets you back in your power. As soon as you notice this is happening, you get back in your power. And then what happens next, this will help you let go of that feeling that you need to control it by continuing to try. Because really, trying is a form of control. We're trying to control a situation. So we can let go of that need. So what happens next is you can step back and go, you know what? I don't have to do everything by myself. Our humanness thinks we have to fix everything, right? We have to do it. And even the things that can't be fixed. We are insane human people. But what I like to say a lot is, why do we feel like we have to try so hard? Wouldn't it be easier if we simply chose to let the universe handle it? Let them do it. Why should I have to do it? So wouldn't it be easier to let the flow take us to where we go, to trust that the flow is going to take us there? Wouldn't it be easier to let the flow lead us to those opportunities and those things that would make our lives easier and more wonderful and more amazing? Wouldn't it just be easier if we stopped trying so hard and let the universe take care of it? Wouldn't it? It feels magical, and it is magical, and it can happen. We can let go of that worry and the fear and the endless trying, and we can relax and live our lives. And it all comes back to that choice. Do you want to feel better or not? If you do, then get rid of that stuff. Lots of people will say, I hand it over to God. Okay, hand it over to the universe. Just say, I can't do it. You take care of it. I'm not doing it. And here's what happens. When you do that, your brain calms down. You don't have to keep doing all that stuff. You don't have to keep trying. You don't have to keep fixing. You don't have to stay stuck in fear. You don't have to do any of those things. You can let it all go. And all of that gets you in the flow. Taking one action step, deciding you're going to do your best to trust, step back from trying to control all of that stuff. You can actually relax, and then you'll get back in that flow. I'm going to just check the comments for a sec. Hi, Debbie. Come back in a second, Ellen. I'll tell you when I'm going to do the mini soul readings. Thanks for jumping over here, Alessandro. Hi, Sherry. Yes, the rejection is God's protection. Whew. Concept of true will and the dilemma, I don't even know if that's what you meant, has been coming up in my life over and over. Message received. Love it. And Lori, I am scared. You know what? You're not alone, Lori. There's a lot of people who are scared out there right now for various reasons. Like a riptide, go with the flow. Yeah, it's one of my things. I actually talk about that in my book. So if you guys want to learn more about ways to be yourself, courageously you, in my book, there's lots of strategies, 32, I believe. I couldn't make 33. I tried really hard. But 32 strategies in here to help you step into your power, handle the crap that happens in your life and stay in your power so you can be happier. The subtitle is Magical Mind Games to Get Unstuck and Reignite Your Joy. So check that out. Okay. Hi, Ray. Nice to see you. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you too. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to talk about strengthening the flow and how to get in there. It's only going to take a few minutes. Don't worry. And if you like everything I say, you can come back, watch the recording later, and take notes if you need to. Then we're going to talk about a couple ideas to reframe, and then we are going to do some mini soul readings, personal guidance, whatever you want to talk about. That's what we're going to do tonight. And it's going to be lots of fun. So again, if you are on Lily Dale's page and you think you want a mini reading or you want to ask a question, get over here to my page, Colleen Van Der Zijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach. It should be listed someplace in there on that page. Sue Ellen says she loves my book. Thank you. Hi, Heather. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to talk about how to strengthen the flow. And these techniques, how I do this, is how I do this, literally. This is how I teach it. This is how I taught it in the Transcendence class, pretty much. And the reason I want to tell you this, because it's actually very simple to do, and taking a minute or two every day to sit in the light will make a huge difference to how you're feeling and will help you let go of trying to control everything. Okay, so to strengthen the flow, I like to sit in the light. So the first thing I do is I sit down in my meditation chair, I breathe, and I relax my body. And I focus on my body because what happens for all of us when we're feeling awful or stressed out or trying too hard, our mind goes crazy. I call it crazy brain. Our mind has crazy brain. You know how it goes, thinking. We can't shut it off. When we focus on our body, we get out of our head. So I sit down first, I breathe, I count 11 breaths because I like the number 11. Do whatever you want. So I count 11 breaths and I pay attention to my body and I relax. My brain starts to calm down. It's great. Then, second, you can visualize, see, feel, imagine light above you. You can imagine it coming down to you. You can imagine it around you. You can imagine stepping into the light. Whatever you like. Just do whatever you want. You want to step in and be in that light. You want to be surrounded by this light. And as you choose to do this, and you can, again, imagine it, you can visualize whatever feels right to you. Isn't it great? You can do whatever you want. So what you do is you start to notice how you feel in your body and in your energy. Okay, how you feel in your body and your energy. You're just simply noticing. When I do this, my third eye will sometimes start tingling. Sometimes my body starts tingling. Sometimes I breathe deeper and I can feel myself relax even more. And so you pay attention to sensations. Okay, if your mind starts thinking too much, just come back to the sensations, energetically or physically. It keeps us in our bodies, but also we're connecting to that light. I also, because I am who I am, I like to add sparkling lights to my lights, like little twinkle lights around me, because I like it. So you can do that too. And when I do that, it always raises my vibration a little bit more and I feel happier. So I do sparkle lights and it helps me to feel and stay in the light. And then in my mind's eye, I watch them just drift around and move, whatever they're doing. And if thoughts come into my head, I just set them aside. I'm like, nope, I'm in the light right now. I don't have time for that. And then I keep breathing it in. Then you'll notice that doesn't take long. It could take 2 minutes. It could take 5 minutes. And what you really want to do is just enjoy being in that energy. It's a beautiful feeling. And don't worry if you think, oh, I'm not feeling anything. I'm not sensing anything. It's still happening. You're always in the light. So you're already there. What we're doing is strengthening your awareness of the light. You're already in the light. Isn't that awesome? So you're already there. So I like to feel it for a bit just because. And then I sometimes will say to myself, I am light. And I just breathe that in and I feel it and I own it because we are all light. We can breathe it in and feel it. And then next, depending on what's going on in my life, what I want to do, if I'm feeling good, I'm feeling like I'm pretty calm, I'm in that state, I might ask, what messages do you have for me? Speaking to the light. Okay, the universe. And what I do is I stay open. Okay, and just see what pops into my head. Maybe I get a feeling of something and I go, oh, I've got a weird feeling. I wonder what that means. And I explore it. It's not heavy duty thinking. It's kind of just like, ooh, I wonder what that is. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know what it means. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And I just let my mind go wherever it goes, basically. But I'm not in a thinking mode. We want to stay open. Now, here's a thing you need to be aware of. We don't want to ask a question where we want a certain answer. Like, will I ever find my perfect partner? Don't ask that, because what will happen is you're immediately in your thinking brain, and your thinking brain is going to try to make the light give you the answer you want. So don't do that. So just ask the simple one. What messages do you have for me? And leave it at that. Now, the other part, after you've practiced this a lot and you're not attached to a certain answer and you can take a never answer or I don't know answer, then you can play with the other part. But don't do that right away. No, it takes some practice to get there. Believe me, I've been there. So now in that space where you're open, you're receptive, you're allowing the answers to simply come to you. They're just going to come to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to reach for them. You don't have to try. No trying, no reaching. What happens is you'll start getting guidance. You'll get ideas, intuitive hits. It could be an answer to a problem, whatever you're trying to do. It could show you a different path. It could show you a different perspective. It could be a new idea, a new direction. It could be something you've never, ever thought about that pops into your head. When I was doing this meditation a lot last year, I got so much information that I was surprised at because I was open and allowing it to come to me. It was beautiful. You could also get action steps that are based in clarity, not fear. So many times when we're trying to make a decision, we are making it based on fear. We're trying to move away from fear in some way. Instead, and I say this a bit in my coaching groups, we want to move toward what we want. So in this case, we want to move toward the light. We want to trust the light is there and is going to guide us, and we're going to get information. Being in the light will help you stay connected to the flow of the universe, your soul, and your power. It's quite amazing. Now, one more thing, and then we'll get to the mini readings. Loads of time. Good. I tried to make it shorter today. That's because you know how much I talk. In this way, you can ask questions and everything. So I'm going to talk about one more thing. Short, don't worry. And then you can start getting my attention. So I can give you spiritual guidance, readings, etc. And I do want to talk about what Barb said earlier about karma and trust. I also want to mention, I almost forgot, my Reimagine Your Life retreat. If you guys want to come to an in-person retreat in Niagara Falls, we are going to, as it's called, Reimagine Your Life. We have some fun and figure out exactly what kind of life you want to have, and we come up with an action plan to get you there. And it's so much fun with the most wonderful people. My tagline is create the life you can't wait to wake up to. So I will post that link later. If Ashley, if you're still on here, you could post the link for me. That'd be great. But if you're not, don't worry. Okay. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because it is so much fun. It's the end of May, Niagara Falls. Going to be amazing. So now, because we're human, it helps to have some strategies to help us let go of feeling like we need to try harder. Remember I mentioned earlier about how as humans, and I tell somebody to stop trying, we immediately get resistance to that idea. And people get like, oh no, I have to keep going. Stopping trying doesn't mean we're giving up on our goal or dream. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean we're stupid or anything. It doesn't mean any of that. It can be hard for us to do. It's just that old teaching that we learned a long, long time ago that we have to keep trying. But let's change it and get rid of that. We don't have to keep trying. So a couple strategies to help you make it a little bit easier to let go of that idea you have to keep trying. Number one of my favorites, I call it intermission. You know how, and some of you have probably heard me say this before, but I'm sure there are people who haven't. You know how when you go to a show or a musical or a play or something like that, we have the first act. We're watching, everything's great, and then we come to the intermission. They shut the curtains, everybody in the audience goes to the bathroom. It's the intermission. It's a break there. Whenever we are feeling stuck, things aren't happening as quickly as we want, we feel like nothing is happening at all. So I liken it to this intermission because even though we don't see anything happening on stage, behind the curtain, everybody is running around like crazy, getting ready for the next act of the show. They're getting ready for the next part. They're changing their clothes. They're redoing their makeup. They're moving set pieces. They're moving their props. Everything is getting set up. So when the intermission ends, the second part can begin. So even if you think you are stuck and nothing is happening, the energy is still moving behind the scenes, behind the curtain. You might not see it, but it's moving. It's setting everything up. So when the time is right, the next part is coming and you are ready. Okay, so if you feel like I got to keep trying, just step back, enjoy the pause, enjoy the intermission. Know that the energy is working on your behalf and it is going to take care of everything. And then you will be ready when the next part comes. Isn't that a good one? Okay. Now, the next thing, only one more thing here. The next thing that's really important when it comes to letting go of feeling like we need to try harder is protecting our energy. And I've been talking about that for a few months now. We have to protect our energy. When we are trying, we are depleting our energy, right? We are using our energy up, and that's why we feel exhausted and drained and irritated and frustrated. We're using our energy up. So again, letting go of trying doesn't mean we're giving up on our dreams or goals. We're not. We're just setting the intention. Then we're going to step back and allow the universe to do it because we have to protect our energy. If we keep trying, we're going to deplete ourselves. And when the time is right to move forward, we're not going to have the energy. So we're going to protect. In the flow, our energy rebuilds. Okay, it protects us and we don't have to work so hard. When we're in the flow, we make healthier choices. We don't control or force anymore. So if we're feeling badly, we want to make decisions that will help us feel better. That will help protect our energy. We want to make decisions that feed our soul. Okay, so that's the second thing. First one is the intermission. Second one is protecting your energy. So if you are trying really hard and it's just not working and you're sick and tired of it, stop. Do the backwards approach and stop. Just trust and know that you're going to be led. Now, for those of you guys who just joined in and didn't hear this earlier, I've got a freebie, a free gift for you up there at the very top of this feed, right where I start. I'm live, where all the comments are, right at the top. It's called The Empowered Path to Inner Peace, and it has strategies in there to help you get into your power so you can have more peace, because we are living in an intense time and we need more peace, don't we? Right. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let me do some scrolling. Now, this is what we do now. How much time do I have? Ooh, loads of time. This is what you're going to do. If you want a mini soul reading, I'll read your soul, tell you some qualities that are important to you and whatever else my guide wants to tell you. If you have an issue you want to talk about, you want some intuitive guidance, you want my guide to give you a hand, you can ask a question. The trick is you got to get my attention. Don't just go, I want a reading, because I'll probably skip over you unless my guide stops me with you, which he might. You never know. Okay, so now I'm just checking the comments. Then I'm going to answer Barb's question. She asked about karma, and that's a good question. You are welcome, Jamie. Lisa, my cats refuse to let me meditate. I just get into it, one jumps up, and it all goes out the window. Do you know, whenever I sit down to meditate, Dude, my little cat with the short legs, he comes and sits on my lap immediately. He could be sleeping the furthest room away from me. He knows when I start meditating, and he comes and sits on my lap. It's really cool. Hi, Sylvia. Helen, caught you live. Hey, thanks for watching from Australia. Okay, Heather, I would love to cancel, clear, delete that saying that taught me, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I know. I think about, remember that little train that could we all learned about? That train that I think I can. And it keeps trying and trying. I think about that too. Perhaps it could be, if at first you don't succeed, it is time to relax and trust, right? And we don't have to give up after the first trying, but if it's very repetitive, then yeah, there's something going on there. Tammy, I've used the intermission with a couple of friends who are feeling stuck. It helped them immensely. I love that one. I'm so glad Spirit told me that however many years ago. Okay, now people are asking good questions. Let's see. Oh, wait, I told Barb I was going to Why are some of my messages getting hidden? I have some keywords that automatically hide messages for me because I had some trolls years ago, and I probably should go back in there and remove some of those words. Okay. Actually, I'll get to you, Barb, in a minute because I'm going to do Alessandra. I don't know if that's how you say it. Alessandra or Alessandra, whatever. I would like advice on resetting my trying and nervous system as a mother who is trying to overcome childhood trauma. I overreact to my children. I know it's my body. Oh, what a great question. What a great question, because I'm sure that others have similar experiences, not necessarily the same as a child, but the similar experiences of feeling like having to reset the nervous system. And recognizing, this is brilliant that you've recognized this, that trying to overcome the childhood trauma, and then being able to see that that is affecting how you're overreacting with your children. That is really profound and insightful. And here's what, and you are correct on the body. I do believe that for most of our lives, okay, I'm going to backtrack for a second. For most of our lives, we have ignored our bodies. We were not taught to, most of us, some people probably were, but most of us were not taught to tune into our bodies and recognize that our bodies are always giving us messages. We were not taught to do that. We were taught to power through, keep going, even if we're tired, all of that stuff. So we have this disconnect with our bodies. And I do believe that some of our traumas, some of our experiences can be held in the energy of our bodies. And we might notice, for example, and this is a very simple one, if we feel like we have to do everything, we have that heavy weight and tension on our shoulders, right? That weight on our shoulders, literally. And so our bodies are always holding energy for us. And our bodies can also give us messages. That's for another day to talk about, but will give us messages as well. I would suggest, Alessandra, is to spend some time in the light, as I described earlier, because that will help lighten things up and would probably give you some further insights for handling things, but also to sit in that light and really tune into your body. You know, where do you feel relaxed? Where do you feel tense? Just as an objective, curious, scientific kind of thing. Not to, no judgment. You're just curious. You want to know. And then I would suggest as well that you think of something that is very pleasing to you, somebody you love, a happy memory, something like that. And really think about it and feel it. And then see how your body feels. And you should feel your body being more expansive, more confident, more open, and lighter. When we have negative memories, negative situations, our bodies automatically constrict. So if we can recognize when we're open and we feel that constriction, we can go back to a really good memory and relax our body. And as we get to know our bodies better, that will help. Okay. I have so much to say, and I'm trying not to go too long. Another thing that could be helpful is, I used this, I think in the Transcendence class. Actually, I did use it in the Transcendence class. Is when, if I got stressed out about something, I would touch here, and that would remind me to get back in my light. It was very simple to do, and it became an anchor for me, where I could just, if something, somebody's irritating me someplace, and I can just go like this and immediately I get back into my light. I would suggest trying that as well, tying that in to get in your light. And that will help you calm down. Yes, that will work really well, because before you react to your children, that will give you that pause. Now, if you're new to me, you may not have heard this phrase I use a lot in the last few years, which is pause, breathe, choose. It's beautiful. What happens is we notice we're going to overreact. We can feel it coming up. So as soon as we see it, as soon as we feel it, we stop. We pause. Boom. We're back in our power as soon as we pause. We pause, we breathe. When we breathe, that brings our mind down. We're back into our body. The breath takes us back into our body. So now we're out of here. We're less reactive. So pause, breathe, choose. Choose is the next thing. How are you going to choose? What are you going to choose? Getting in the light, being very deliberate and intentional about your responses. It is possible to do, and I know you can do it. So those are some suggestions I think will really help. Okay, so give those a shot. Okay, now I want to talk about Barb for a minute and karma. Okay, and then hopefully it doesn't scroll tomorrow and I can see your comments. Okay, so Barb wanted to know, trusting about karma. There's so much to do with karma. Lots of people think that karma means punishment. I did something wrong, so I'm going to be punished. Okay, that is actually not what it is. It is not. Somebody probably made that up. Some really controlling church or something probably made that up to control people. Really what karma is the consequence for our actions. Okay, the consequence for our actions. So if we are all connected, which we are all connected, is oneness. Okay. If I'm a nasty, nasty person to somebody, that energy is going to come back to me. And I'm going to experience it on the receiving end. So we might think that's punishment, but it's not. It's a learning opportunity to recognize that our energy affects other people and whatever we send out comes back to us, which would kind of behoove us to try to be light, love, and kindness, wouldn't it? Right? So that kind of karma, it's that. And I know that sometimes with some of the energies currently in the world and people being cruel and mean and hateful, etc., I know sometimes people think, well, I hope they get what's coming to them, okay? That's vengeful, right? And not actually of the light or love. We all understand it. We all understand why people might feel like that, but we really don't want to have that energy because it's going to drag our energy down. Okay, I know. What I do now, for those of you, and we talked about the darkness a couple of weeks ago, but what I do now is I thank the darkness for being there because it's helping the light get stronger. Okay, that's a high level concept, but you can do it. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. Okay. Yes, Julie, this winter has been tough. This has been a tough winter. If you guys don't live like where I live, I am so tired of minus 12 degrees. It was 50 today, though, but it's snowing tomorrow. Tammy, life is ever evolving. I'm working hard on the go with the flow. I don't have a specific question, but would love to hear what you guys have for me. Okay, I'll go with that because that's interesting to me. Yes, it is. Going with the flow is so amazing and so helpful and can really help us relax and get back in our power and just feel really good. And I know that is a great thing for you to do. I feel this sense with you, this is kind of interesting, of reaching. Okay, which is funny because I mentioned that earlier about not reaching, but I feel you reaching. It's like, I know there's more here. I know there's more that I want out of life. And that is actually in my copy for the Reimagine Your Life retreat because, and this is the reason why, I have had so many people tell me in the last year, and so many people in the last 6 weeks tell me this, about how they want more out of life. They feel, in some ways, they feel like they're at a crossroads. They're not sure which direction to go in next. They might not even know who they really are. They know that there's more out of life, but they don't know what. They just have this little bit of unease, I guess, going, there's got to be more to life than this. And this is always, for me, I like it. It's a good sign for me when I start feeling like that because I know that there is more coming for me. And part of the Reimagine Your Life retreat is set up to help people accept that and then jump in and let's find out what else is coming kind of thing. So there is that sense with you of reaching and wanting more. And I feel things coming for you. I can definitely feel things coming. The timing isn't quite right, but I can feel things. And I'm getting the word patience to make sure you are being patient. Okay, just be patient. And that ties in with trust, of course, as much as possible. I also saw something else, and this is interesting, so I'm going to say it, is lightning. I saw lightning, like a lightning bolt. And this, in my interpretation for you at this moment, is I feel like you're going to get this flash of inspiration and insight. I do not know when, I do not know where, but I feel like you're going to get this flash of inspiration. So that will be fun to see what happens. Okay, Tammy, I'll stop there. This is so interesting. Barb, I need help. I lost my love. I can't seem to move on. I am going to be teaching a class, and I'm going back and forth of if I'll do it live or if it will be an online course. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to be teaching a class called Finding Yourself After Loss. Okay, now, loss is huge, right? We all have different losses. We lose our loves. We lose our job. We lose our house. We lose our money. We lose a relationship through divorce, whatever it is. And it takes time, of course, for us to process that and move through. We will know we are stuck when we keep telling the same story over and over and over and over and over. Okay, and I'm not saying you're doing this, Barb, but if you say to yourself all the time, I can't seem to move on, I can't seem to move on, I can't seem to move on, what will happen is that becomes true. I can't seem to move on. Today, my newsletter, my Tuesday Intention Tuesday email was about changing the story. Okay, stop telling ourselves these disempowering stories. Instead, we tell ourselves, I am moving on. I am processing. I am doing my best, whatever it might be. And Barb, another thing is to give yourself grace. You've lost your love. This is huge. Okay, this is huge. You know, there are going to come times where it's really heavy and deep, and other times where you'll start to feel lighter and happier. And then you might feel guilty because you feel happier. One thing I always tell people whenever I teach classes on grief and loss is that we don't have to hold on to our grief to hold on to the love. And so many people think that if they stop grieving, that means they're no longer loving their person, or that the person you love is going to leave and you'll never feel them around you again, or or it means you don't love them enough. What I know as a medium, and I know this 1,000,000%, because every spirit who ever talks about this says this, they want us to be happy. They want us to be enjoying our lives. They understand we're sad, but they don't want us to be stuck there. Time is so short. They always say this, time is so short. They want us to really enjoy what's happening, and they want us to continue to talk to them, to let them know we're thinking about them. They know that, and they're right around us all of the time. Whenever we need them, they are there. So we're not alone, even though it can feel like it, and it's certainly not the same as when they were physically here. It's not the same, but it does help to know that they are still around us and with us. It does help. And they want us to move on. I know. Isn't it crazy? And again, it doesn't mean we love them any less. It doesn't mean that at all. In a way, moving on is honoring them and their wishes because they want us to be happy. Okay? It's a different way of looking at things. Our grief is love. And we cannot expect us, especially for big grief, it's not one of these, all of a sudden it's just over. But there's always going to be moments. But what we also know that as time goes on, as we continue to process the loss, as we continue to learn more about ourselves, we will feel better. It's a new reality, and we can have joy in that new reality. And our loved ones on the other side do want us to have that. They want us to experience it. Okay, so I'll stop there. Okay, let's see. Okay, Lisa. I need advice for what direction to go in now that my children are older and don't need me so much. Oh, isn't that something? It's harder, isn't it? Especially for those of us who've been parents. I mean, when the kids are younger, we spend every waking minute dealing with them and helping them and being there for them and teaching them and everything them. And then as they get older and they become more independent, we can feel a little bit lost. So here's the thing. Now it's time to really find out who you are, to find out what kind of person you really are, in addition to being the mother that you are. What do you like? What do you like doing? Now's the time to get some new hobbies. Now's the time to start making decisions based on what you want to do, who you want to be. And people usually, when they ask a question like that, they want me to literally say something like, okay, become a photographer. That's not going to happen, okay, normally. Sometimes it does, but not frequently. My guide, he's all about living your life and being your true self, living the life you want to live. Now, if you're not really sure who you are, in addition to being a mother, something to think about is what you liked as your child. What did you like doing when you were a kid? Did you like reading, riding your bicycle? Did you like going to the beach? Whatever it is. Think about those things. Think about some hobbies, things that kind of feed your soul and would be fun and enjoyable. And the other part is to give yourself permission to do things you like, to make choices that make you happy. You've spent a lot of time giving to everybody else. Now you get to give to yourself and have some fun, because eventually they're going to be adults. Like my daughter is, how old is she now? 30. She's 30 years old. They have their own life now. It's so strange to me sometimes because we used to do so many things together, but it's different now, right? She has her own family. And I see them and we do things together still, but it's not the same as it used to be. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes we don't like it, but that's the way it's supposed to be. And so you want to make your life as the best one ever. Maybe a couple things if you need to know more about who you are. Check out my book, Courageously You, or come hang out with me at the Reimagine Your Life retreat, and we'll get you a plan and a path, and we'll figure out what you love. Okay, let me see what else I got here. What time is it? Oh, good, I still have some time. I got lots of messages. Okay, hold on. I've got to scroll back down a minute here. Things move on me. Kara says, good evening. Listening to you and reading your book has been a huge help dealing with current life situations. You always seem to know what I need to hear. Wanted to see if you have any guidance for me this evening. I don't know if I do or not, but let's see what my guide has to say. Oh, man. You know what I got right away that popped into my head, Kara, was all of a sudden, oh my goodness, I love when this happens. I had so much creativity in my head. I had such amazing thoughts, like enthusiasm and excitement for this and that and this and that. And I could feel all of that stuff, and I loved that feeling. And what that symbolizes to me, not only in things that are fun for you to do, but also this sense of you stepping into your power so you can really enjoy your life, kind of tied into what I said to the previous person. And there is this sense of you kind of a new awarenesses of who you are and what you can do and where you can be and all of that stuff. It's a really great feeling. I hope you're feeling great, because if you're not, this is coming. But it feels like this. Okay, it feels amazing. So I'm just going to stop with that. Alessandro, you said amazing. Yes, good. Glad that made sense. You're welcome on that, Joe. Thank you so much for the pause, breathe, choose. I got to make some little magnets with that on there and pass them out. Maybe I'll do that for the retreat. That would be fun. Because it's so simple and so powerful. It really is. I wrote that down on the fridge bulletin board. Yay! Evelyn, my anxieties are in full bloom lately. I don't know why. Maybe some guidance will help. Well, number one, let me mention, like I have for the last however many months, especially if people are new, because not everybody knows me and knows what I say. The energy out there is so intense that we are all hypersensitive. Everybody's energy is on edge, every single person. And if they're not on edge, they're probably somebody who's not very aware or kind. So our energy's on edge, so we can blame a lot of it on that. Okay. Next thing, everybody, this is not just for you, Evelyn. The energy has shifted. Okay. I mentioned this maybe earlier, maybe December or something, or January, I don't know. But the energy has shifted and we are starting to head in the correct direction. Okay, the other thing is it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. Still, it's kind of like, grasping, holding on to it, right? Fear likes to hold on. So it's going to get a little worse before it gets better, but it is going to get better. March is going to be better. And the end of March, even more better. Okay, so that's going to help. The other thing, Evelyn, and everybody else who's feeling this anxiety, we cannot do what we used to be able to do. The energy is too overwhelming. We just can't do it. Okay, so we're streamlining, we're simplifying. We're going to pick one or two things that are most important and we're going to kind of set the other things aside. Okay, if something calls us, like we feel called to go to a workshop, we feel called to learn knitting. I mentioned that to Lori Lynn, was it maybe? If we feel called to, go walk outside, okay, do one or two things and that's it. And then let the other things just feel that. So what we're doing is we're kind of honoring our feelings and then taking action on them. That will help. Another thing is back to meditating in that light that we talked about earlier. That is going to help too, especially now. We need to protect our energy. Everybody, we need to protect our energy. And we also need to live the life we want to live. Okay? Do not let the fear or the anxiety stop you from living your life the way you want. Do not let it stop you from going after joy. Do not let it stop you from doing whatever you want. Just do not. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, there's so much going on. I feel like I shouldn't even, whatever. No, live your life. That's what we're supposed to do. Because when you live your life, you're having fun, you're doing what you want, your energy raises, you become more light, and the light combats that darkness. You're actually helping the darkness decrease, okay? Because your light is getting stronger. So bringing your energy back is, I guess, the simple answer to that. Okay. Yes, Joe, I feel that exact way right now. I'm at a crossroads. You are so not alone, Joe. Oh my gosh. I'm truly, I'm thinking about all these people who have told me this, that they're at a crossroad. They don't know what's next. They don't know what to do. Our humanness wants direction. Our humanness wants to know the answers. And that's not the answer. The answer is we're going to trust our path is going to come to us. Maybe we get that intuitive hit, again, to take a class, talk to somebody, whatever. Or maybe we get that intuitive hit and we go on Facebook and something pops up that says, ooh, I want to do that, whatever it might be. So that goes right away with the trusting and being patient. We're just going to trust it's going to come to us. Okay, it's so important. I do want to mention before I forget, I will post this right after, okay? Soul guidance session on February 25th. It's limited to 10 people. Everybody gets a mini soul reading. We had so much fun at the one last week. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And people wanted it, so I set up 2 more. I have 3 seats left, unless people have bought them since I've been on. So I have 3 seats left. I will post it. The link ends with February 25th. So that's the right link. Okay, so there's that. And I also want to, again, mention my retreat, the Reimagine Your Life retreat. The price is amazingly low. We've got amazing hotel rooms. We are so close to Niagara Falls. We are going to create that life you can't wait to wake up to. It's amazing. I will post that link as well. Okay, I would love that course. Which course you guys talking about? I've got so many. Oh, the Finding Yourself After Loss course? Yeah, it's happening. I'm just not sure exactly how it's going to be, but we are definitely doing that. Okay. Let us know when the grief course will be available. I know. Yeah, Spirit told me to do it. I think it was in December. And then I mentioned it to a couple people and people are like, oh, yes, we need that. And so it is on my list and I want it to be out in April. So I may do it live because sometimes if I do it live, it's more likely to happen than if I try to make it be a course and come out right away. And I can do it live and then we can talk too if people have stuff. So it will happen. It is coming. Okay, let me see. Oh, I got so many comments. You are welcome, Barb. Sylvia, what a beautiful show. Thank you, Colleen. I lost my daughter a few years ago. I'm so sorry to hear that. I can't even imagine. And I feel her around me all the time. She was a blessing. Isn't it beautiful how our spirit people can be with us all the time? I mean, what an amazing thing to know that they're with us. It's just so miraculous. How can I do the retreat? I will give you the link. My website, ColleenVanderzijden.com. And then it's Reimagine Your Life or something. I don't know. But I will post it for you. I will give it to you. And yeah, because you'll really love it. Lisa, thank you. Dawn, taking a book on my vacation, decompress after my brother and heal more. Great idea. And I tell you, right? I mean, so hard to lose our people. Kelly, I was just on your website. Are you all booked this summer in Lilydale? I have not opened my schedule yet. The summer, you guys, it is coming. It will be open in a week or two. We're going on vacation in a few days, and so it'll be after that. But I will open my schedule, and I am going to be very limited in my times. So if you want a reading with me, you need to plan ahead and book it in advance. I do not do walk-ins anymore. I'm always booked in advance. So I will be open. If I do what I did last year, it'll be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll see. I think that's what I did. So I am not booked yet. I will tell you when I have it. Julie, protecting my energy every day. Remember me talking about this? Yes. Corky, you needed to hear all this tonight. Well, I will see you tomorrow, darling. You are most welcome. Okay, one more thing. Alessandra is asking, hearkening back to the body and fear constricting. How can we make sure that's not confusing with protecting our energy? When we protect our energy is open. Okay, that doesn't mean we're allowing things to come in, but our body is more relaxed and we feel more confident. Whenever we're constricted in any way, there's some kind of tension, there's stress, there's fear, something's happening. Okay, when we protect our energy, it's a different feeling. It's a confident feeling. It's a knowing. That's what it is. It's a knowing. Okay, now this does take some practice sometimes, especially if we were not used to touching in with our bodies. Okay, it took me quite some time before I was like, okay, this is a good feeling. I know this is a good answer because I could tell. I'd be like, oh, this feels right. And you can't really describe it because we're all slightly different, but it's a knowing and it's a confidence and it's an open, it's a surety that will help, hopefully. Yes, trust the unknown. How can we protect ourselves while also expanding? It's kind of similar. Energy bubble, too. Okay, good. Okay, I guess I probably should stop talking. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I will post those links, the soul guidance, unless it's sold out. If it's sold out, then forget it. You can't get in. But I got 3 left. February 25th. And then I will post the Reimagine Your Life retreat. And if you want the link for the Reimagine Your Life retreat, just say, I want the link to the retreat, and I'll just send it to you. And then you'll have it, and you don't have to go searching for it. Okay? It's so much fun. And I only have so much space in the room, too. So I can't take like 100 people, though I suppose maybe the hotel could give me a different room if I had 100 people. But anyway, if you want to come, it's amazing. And I give everybody all this little gift bag and so many supplies, and it's the nicest people in the world, and we have so much fun. And people have that plan so they can create the life they want. Right? Okay, so thanks so much for joining me. I will not be here next week because I'm on vacation next week. But I will be here the week after that. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, as usual. We'll find out, and it will be fun. I am so glad you learned so much tonight. It is it's always so fun to see what comes out of my mouth. It really is wonderful. So definitely come and join me at the retreat, and I will see you in a couple weeks back here right on this channel. I'll see you later. Have fun. Bye.